Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. So, will AI really cause job losses or not? We'll get to answering that question in a minute, but first, click the link below. Check out my book on Amazon, The Beginner's Guide to AI, History of AI and Current Impact on 10 Different Industries. So it's a super fast read, only a couple hours for the whole book. Check that out. And also, if you click the other link below, you will see free resources. The resources are free. Everything in the resource is free. It'll teach you a lot more about AI. And besides, if you do get the resource, you'll be given the opportunity to participate for free in my beta course, the AI Safe Career Pivot. So it'll help you change to a job that's going to be relatively AI safe. And what a timely topic to make that comment, because we are going to spend the next few videos talking about job losses in AI. And so there's a lot of articles about this, right? But this is different. This is a study by the US government. Millions of dollars were spent to prepare this study. This isn't just someone saying something. It's years of research. We'll get into that, but also talks about what's happened in the past and how that relates to AI and potential job loss. So let's get into it, and I hope you find this interesting. By the way, this is absolutely core to our mission here at the AI Guide for two reasons. One is we like to give you both sides of the discussion, and then I'll tell you what I think at the end. But in addition to giving you both sides, we like to sometimes go against the conventional wisdom. And that's exactly what this series of videos is going to do. So there is part of the U.S. government called the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they put out all the employment information that you hear about every month. Principally through two surveys that they do. One that surveys companies about hiring and layoffs and stuff like that, and the other that's a household survey that surveys individual people about are they working, are they not working, if they're looking for a job, how long they've been looking, and all that stuff. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics does a special study each month. And the July study, which was just put out, right, because they put it out after or near the end of the month. But the July study was perfectly on target. Growth trends for selected occupations considered at risk from automation. So they had not done this particular study in quite a while. But this takes a direct look from the Bureau of Labor Statistics at AI and automation. So again, sorry, some reading here, but this really shows you what we're talking about. Breakthroughs in AI and robotics have led to substantial concern that large-scale job losses are imminent. Selected occupations are often specifically cited as illustrations of technological displacement that is or will become a general problem. But these discussions are often impressionistic. This article compiles a list of specific occupations cited in the automation literature and examined the occupations' trends in employment since 1999. And we project employment to 2029. So this is right in the period that all of my videos talk about with AI and automation. There is little support in U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data or projections for the idea of a general acceleration of job loss or a structural break with trends predating the AI revolution with respect to the occupations cited as examples. So right off the bat, they say that all these comments that people make, including me, are wrong. So let's delve into why they are saying that. So recent advances in robotics and AI have been highly publicized. Many observers consider these new technologies fundamentally different from previous waves of computing technology. Recent writings on automation and employment data often refer to certain occupations. A natural question is whether the expectations expressed in the automation literature are consistent with projections generated by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. For context, growth in these occupations is analyzed from the period 2008 to 2018 and is compared with both the projections for 2019 to 2029, because everything the Bureau does in these detailed studies is in 10-year periods, which means it was 10 years ago, more or less, that they put out the last study on automation due to computer technologies. And they also compare it to the 2008-2018 projections published a decade earlier. So 10 years ago, they put out projections of job loss due to automation, and they're going to see how accurate they were. So then they get into current automation discourse, and they use a term called Information and Communications Technology, ICT. So ICT, they say, started in the late 1940s. Milestones include the development of mainframe computing, early manufacturing automation, mini computers, microcomputers, the internet, and mobile computing, i.e. your handheld phone and laptop, tablets, all that stuff. Economists became aware of a trend toward greater earnings inequality during the period since the late 1980s. When wage gaps between the middle and lower percentiles of the wage distribution stopped widening in the late 1990s. In other words, the gap in wages between low income and middle income has not changed since the late 1990s, over 20 years. Attention turned toward the possibility that declining labor demand affected middle-skilled jobs more than low-skilled jobs because their tasks were more codifiable and programmable. So this is one thing that was talked about that they looked into in their last study. Beginning in 2005 with the successful demonstration of self-driving vehicles. Well, it may have been demonstrated, but as we all know, they're still working on that 17 years later, A series of often unexpected and dramatic breakthroughs in AI and robotics have expanded the kind of tasks that information technology can perform. Now robots clean floors, deliver packages, perform warehouse work, check inventory, patrol malls, assist with surgery, lay bricks, sew garments, and they don't say it, but they actually are quite used in large-scale manufacturing, like automobiles, appliances, things like that. Remarkable advances powered by improved hardware, big data, and advances in neural networks and other machine learning techniques have occurred since 2015. So all this is recent, and we've talked about that many times. Even experts in the field of AI were often surprised by the rapid rate of improvement and the milestones reached in such a short timeline. So this is an introduction. This topic needs a lot more discussion. There's going to be a series of videos here. I don't know exactly how many because that took longer just to get through that introductory piece than I expected. Next time, we're going to talk about the factors that they used to do this study, and then probably the time after that, the results of the study looking at specific occupations. But this will be really interesting for my audience especially, which is focused on 18 to 34-year-olds, and all of you will be highly impacted during your career by ICT advancement, information and communication technology advancement. So thanks so much for tuning in. Look for the next video on Wednesday. We'll pick up where we left off. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye.